That takes us to the final game of this divisional round weekend. It's the most anticipated game, let's face it. Ravens at the Bills. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. I'll kick us off on this one. When you think about the modern quarterback and when you think about dual threat quarterback, these two are the poster childs of that. Mahomes, Joe Burrow, a lot of them, they are dual threat in nature. Like, Mahomes can definitely scramble and run for first downs, and so can Burrow. But by definition, these two pass at will and run at will. Like, this is blockbuster in the making, I think. But I think there's an issue. You've got two. I think in terms of talent wise, we're talking about all-time level ability quarterbacks. But I don't feel that way about the rosters. Josh Allen is the first quarterback in the last 15 years to be named All-Pro where none of his teammates were also named All-Pro. And there's a good reason for that. You're named All-Pro generally because as a team, you've done well, and individuals on that team have been outstanding. No disrespect to the other guys on the Bills, but there's no one that has been outstanding like their quarterback. And it bothers me that I almost see similarities of prime Aaron Rodgers with the Packers, where they're leaning heavily on the quarterback. In the last year, they're trying to change that. I see that. They've established a run game. James Cook has done very well. But James Cook, with all due respect, is no King Henry. Like, he's a good running back. But when I look at this Bills roster, to me at least, I see Brock Purdy. I see they're good at a lot of things, but they're not elite at anything. There's not. I don't consider their running backs elite the way that I can talk about the other side of this matchup, King Henry. He is, by definition, elite. And for the Bills' defense, they got stomped on in week 4 when these two teams last met. And week 4 is a long time ago now. But I'm struggling with the Bills. Now, if we turn over to the Ravens, Lamar Jackson was also named All-Pro, but he wasn't named All-Pro alone. He had King Henry, who was All-Pro, Carl Hamilton, who was All-Pro, a number of others. The fullback, Patrick Ricard, was named All-Pro. Maybe I don't agree with that one. But the point is, the Ravens are the model that the Bills need to get to. They both drafted a quarterback who was, in nature, quite raw. They developed that quarterback to the point where they are the elite of the NFL. But what the Ravens have done that the Bills, I think, have failed to do is support Lamar with great talent. Have an elite edge in King Henry, for example. Usually, they've got an elite defense. We haven't seen that this year, but they are improving. And I look at the Bills and I'm trying to see, other than Josh Allen, who's going to be the difference maker on offense? Who's going to be the difference maker on defense? Defensively, we're looking at Von Miller, who's up there in age, the return of Matt Milano, who gets injured quite a lot, but is very good when he's on the field. They are a different defense with him. I just don't see enough. I'm not sure that this will be close. So I'm going to make this very quick. I see the Ravens winning this game. It will be cold. Like, this is the coldest game that Lamar will have played in. Will that affect him enough? I don't think so. I think Lamar is special, beyond special. Like, this is a generational type player. And he's got a big, bruising, elite running back with him that I just think these two will do what they've done all year, really, take over this game. The Ravens have struggled on defense. Josh Allen is going to make plenty of plays in this game, but they have been improving, and I think they will be able to limit the Bills' offense enough where I see the Ravens getting a lead. They may have to hold on to it at the end because they've got a little bit of a kind of blowing lead syndrome. But in the end, I see the Ravens winning fairly comfortably. So I say the Ravens advance and we get a rematch of week 1, Ravens at Chiefs in the AFC Championship.
Wow. So this game I see, excuse me, as the Bills have not been great at stopping the run this year. And the Ravens, the narrative with the Ravens and Lamar Jackson in history is that he doesn't play well in the playoffs. And last year, in that loss to Kansas City, they went away from their devastating running game and they tried to throw the ball too much. And after that, they had the whole of the offseason to have those questions about, well, why did you go away from your strength? Why did you go away from it? Well, you know what they did this year? They went and picked up King Henry, and they just have been devastating in the running game this year, including in the earlier matchup this year against the Bills. Last week's game against my Steelers, they ran for 299 yards as a team, and that includes a kneel down, so 300 yards. And the Steelers, who have seen this before, twice every year, couldn't stop it. They tried to take away Lamar because they rushed their bookends, Watt and Highsmith, from the outside to pin in Lamar like they've done in the past to limit Lamar. Well, you've got King Henry then you've opened up the middle of your defense for King Henry just to get ahead of steam and run straight at you. And he ran for 199 yards. Just devastating, this Ravens rushing game. I think a lot has to go right for the Bills to win this. I think they have to turn the ball over. They have to force a pick, a fumble. They have to turn the ball over on special teams. I think a lot has to go right for the Bills to win this, because the Ravens, if they got away from their game plan, then the Bills could have a chance. But last week showed us they had a drive against the Steelers where they ran the ball 15 straight times.
When do you ever see that against the Steelers? They had no answer.
Yeah, and that's, old school, like we're going to punch you in the mouth football, and the Steelers had no answer. And through the regular season, the Steelers had a better run defense than the Bills do. And the Bills aren't a big squad on the defensive line and the linebackers. They're fast, but they're not big. And I think the Ravens are going to push them around. I think the only way that the Ravens can lose this game is if they go away from what they're good at. And even if they do deviate slightly from what they're good at, then Lamar's an elite thrower. Zay Flowers isn't going to play this game, but the tight end's good. Andrews is good. Bateman's good. And the Bills, the secondary, the corners are good, but the safeties aren't that special. And the safeties, well, they better get ready to try and tackle King Henry running at full speed if he bursts through the line, because, yeah, they're not big safeties either. They're not great at tackling. Like you said, I think it's a shame for Josh Allen because I want him. I want to see a great Bills roster against a great Ravens roster, and this to be the tussle for the right to go to play Patrick Mahomes. I think they're just overmatched. And Josh Allen's going to have to play an exceptional game, which he's capable of doing. But this Ravens defense, since week 11, they lead the league in quite a few categories on defense. So they've really turned it around. And they've turned it around with the return of Kyle Hamilton. Because now Kyle Hamilton is directing the traffic on the defense. He's telling people where to line up. It used to be Roquan Smith in the middle. Now it's Kyle Hamilton, who's a really good safety, plays down in the box a lot. And they've got some dudes on defense, this Ravens squad. And yeah, I just think it's too much for the Bills and Josh Allen, sadly. I want to see Josh Allen play against Patrick Mahomes, but the Bills, they're going to have these moments again, the Bills. They got rid of a lot of older players last year to clean up some cap space. And I think this is just a year or two too early for the Bills. They're going to get over these cap problems. And then in the years coming, they're going to have some dollars to spend in free agency to support Josh Allen further. Giving him James Cook is a good move. And hopefully they keep him and keep building that offensive line around him. But these squads, they're similar in a lot of ways. Superstar quarterback. Well, good running game again. So superstar quarterback, I'd maybe even give the slight edge to Josh Allen over Lamar. But running game, Ravens. Defense, Ravens. Coaching, probably Ravens as well. And but I saw this today, there is one category that the Bills, so both of these squads, right, don't give the ball away hardly at all. Like, I think it's 11-8 in giveaways. But the Bills take the ball away a lot more than the Ravens do. That has to happen for the Bills to be in this. They have to have, I'd say, two takeaways more than the Ravens for this to be close. But the Ravens, like that game against the Steelers, that narrative of, oh, you should have run the ball more. Well, they ran the ball a whole lot last week. And guess what? It was massively successful. And I think they're going to do exactly the same thing this week. What travels well in the cold weather, in the playoffs? Defense and running game. What do the Ravens have? Defense and running game. And if it doesn't work, they've got a superstar quarterback. I think that the Ravens win this and they cover. The spread's only 1.5. Understandably, because the Bills are the home team. But I think there's just too many things that need to fall in the Bills' favor for them to win this. People are calling this a coin flip. I don't think it's a coin flip. I think that the Ravens have to blow this for the Bills to advance. And I don't think they will. I think these are the new Ravens. They know what they do. They don't apologize for it. Kind of like the Eagles. They'll just keep hitting you in the mouth. And yeah, it just becomes demoralizing after a while, as we saw last week with Pittsburgh. So give me the Ravens to win. Bad times for Josh Allen, but there'll be better days ahead for Josh.
Yeah, I think you're spot on, Paul. Like, it's one of those where the Bills have to take the lead. They've got to get a 2-score lead and quickly, because if the Ravens go ahead early, this could get out of hand, I think.